precautionary principle against GMOs. And I noticed that people started commenting automatically, scientists, without reading what's inside there, because their comments were already addressed as a fallacy in the text. It means they didn't read it. So it's typical of most people who comment. The more people comment, the less they read what they commented on. And it's pretty much an inverse law. Anyway, so the main idea is on a main difference between a cat and a washing machine. Okay, but that's the central idea. What's the main difference between the organic and non-organic, between the engineered and non-engineered? This is a watch, okay, and this watch will never benefit from a random event. You agree? Okay, if you bang on it, it's not going to get better. My bones get better if I bang on a table, all right? May break the table, you know, if you do too much, you need a stronger table, okay, over time. So there's a difference between the organic and the engineered. The organic communicates with its environment via stressors and only via stressors, okay? Your skin doesn't communicate with the environment via your brain. If you go in the sun, it will overshoot, thinking that there's going to be more sun tomorrow, and will darken. You agree? Same with bone density, same with stuff like that. Shocks improve. This is why people go to the gym. We don't quite get that idea that some things we classify as engineered because we read too many books about them, okay, effectively are organic. And I call that the Soviet Harvard fallacy, or top-down design thinking, something that organic. And I'm sure it applies to the previous speakers, you know, intuitions. And that fallacy is very big. Take the economy, all right? Is the economy something to be engineered, or something organic that has a bottom-up process and only probe, because uncertainty cannot be probed by top-down systems if there's a certain class. And effectively, forest fires, if you repress forest fires, forest is something organic, complex systems. If you repress forest fires, the risks accumulate, and the minute you have a big fire, it collapses, all right? So same thing with the economy, but Mr. Greenspan, I think he got his PhD here, NYU. I mean, it's not, universities are not harmless things, all right? So he wanted no more boom and bust. He didn't understand that because your washing machine doesn't need, okay, variability in the environment to get better, okay? The economy needs it to clean up the junk, the bad stuff, the bad companies, so people can fail early. And that's the property of a good complex system and a property, good organic bottom-up system. It should fail early and frequently to clean up continuously. And that's how you probe uncertainty. You don't probe it via planning, you probe it via experimentation. So convex experimentation, as we'll see. So this brings also a mistake in the perception of complex system or stuff like that, is that people mistake variability for risk, mostly because we have bad terminology. We're victims of a terminology, you see. Risk is not variability, all right? Except, I think it started in the econ departments and in decision science, and then people said, oh, well, let's control risks, therefore you control variability. You're not, the only two are together in some class, for some narrowly defined class of distribution, you control variance of the Gaussian distribution, you lower tail risk automatically. They're two different animals. And effectively, if you eliminate variability from systems, they blow up. And this we've known in control theory since Maxwell, right? So a lot of people know about these things, but it so happened that those involved in economic stuff have a simplified view of things, okay? So if you remove, and when I was writing The Black Swan, I quizzed people. I would tell them there are two countries, two types of countries. One country had 40 governments. The other country had only 2 governments over the same period. Which one is more stable? Actually, there are 2 countries on the right and one on the left. The one on the left was what? Which one is more stable? Most people said that the one that only had 2 governments was more stable. Which one of the country that had 40 governments? Well, it's not hard to guess, Italy, all right? It's still around. Last time I'm going, actually, right now I have my suitcase, I'm going there. So I hope it's there, all right? Still standing, all right? Which country was on the right, the country that had few governments, hence was perceived unanimously by the people I asked, mostly economists, unanimously as more stable? Syria, all right? So this is the problem, all right? Over-intervention. If you over-intervene in a system, you make it seem a lot more stable, but eventually it